I'm Ravi and welcome to day 2 of using AI to practice JavaScript interview problems. In this video, I'm going to use mock.feedback, which is a Cactro initiative to practice a few of the problems related to JavaScript functions. Let's select this topic and let's start.
Hello, I'm Devi, a senior JavaScript developer. How has your day been so far? Or do you have any JavaScript experience you'd like to share? Once you're ready, we can begin the interview.
Hi Devi. I have been coding for last 4 months using the Stack technologies and JavaScript particularly. So I have built a few of the projects using JavaScript, and I'm comfortable with JavaScript. We can begin with the interview.
Great, let's get started. First question, what are higher order functions?
Okay. Higher order functions are a type of functions that either take a function as a parameter or return one.
That's a solid definition. Can you give an example of a common higher order function in JavaScript?
There are a couple of higher order functions in the JavaScript. The common higher order function examples could be the array methods like the map method, the reduce, or the filter methods. These methods take a callback function, so they can be called a higher order function.
Well said. Now, can you describe how you would write your own higher order function?
Okay, we can write a higher order function, and it can take a callback function as greet user, and it would just return return the new message.
Got it. Can you walk me through the steps or thought process you would use to implement that?
Okay, there would be a function as greet user, and it would accept a generate message parameter, or we could just mm, create a function inside that function as generate message, and so the outer function would be greet user, and the inner message would be generate message, and the outer function would also take the name of the user as parameter, and it would pass down to this inner function, and it would generate a message, say uh, return hello, um, hello, and then followed by the name of the user, and then we can use console and call that inner function inside this main function, and return it, and then when we are calling the outer function, it would just return the output as hello, and followed by the supplied parameter of the name.
Thank you for that explanation. Could you walk me through why higher order functions are useful in JavaScript?
so um, One possible reason I could think of is solving repetitive part of problems. In many other array of objects problems, we need to loop over this array of objects, and we need to do some sort of filtering. So for that purpose, we need to use loops and conditional statements, and it could all be avoided if we could just encapsulate all these processes inside a function, and just let the user pass some function inside it.
Got it. That makes sense. Thank you for your answers. Let's move on to the next question. What are pure functions?
Pure functions are functions that return the same outputs given the same input.
That's correct. Can you elaborate on the benefits of using pure functions?
Okay, there are a couple of benefits on using pure functions. Few of the reasons could be since they return the exact output given the same input, they are highly testable and maintainable. Since we know what are going to be the outputs, we can properly test them. And one more the reason could be they don't have side effects, and it it's easier to handle functions that don't have side effects. Like if the function has side effects like calling an API, we don't know what how the API will behave, so it might break. But considering the pure functions, it just works as we are thinking.
Great explanation. Now, can you provide an example of an impure function and explain why it's considered impure?
Impure function could be when we are dealing with the network. We might create a function as handle as a handle handle user data, and inside that function we could use a fetch API provided by the browser to call a some sort of get API. But this function could either return something or it could not return. So even if we provided, for example, a button click event, it is not guaranteed that if we click that button, the output would be same. So this is a example of impure function.
Appreciate that explanation. If you're ready, let's move on to the next question. What is recursion in JavaScript?
Recursion is a function that calls itself. So for example, if we are calculating the factorial of a number using recursion, it would just going to call we would just define a function um, that would start from our top limit and go to the bottom for the index, and then we would be just multiplying all the numbers, and it would be just calling itself in each iteration of the loop.
I see. Could you explain how you would calculate Fibonacci numbers recursively?
Okay, so I know about calculating the factorial, but I don't know about calculating the Fibonacci numbers. Um,
No worries. Could you try to explain how you would calculate Fibonacci numbers recursively, step by step?
I don't have any ideas about calculating Fibonacci numbers.
That's okay. Would you like to talk through what you do know about recursion, or how you might break down the problem into simpler parts?
Okay, for calculating factorial, I can talk about recursion there. Suppose we are calculating the factorial of a number, and we have defined a function and it accepts the argument as n. We would just using a loop, and we would just define the top starting point as n, and then we would be um, multiplying all the numbers inside it uh, till the 1. So we'll be just using a decrement operator, and in each iteration we'll be just uh, keeping multiplying and saving the values.
As a next step, how would you optimize a recursive Fibonacci function to avoid repeated calculations and potential stack overflow?
I don't know about this.
That's okay. Would you like to try a simpler example of recursion, or would you prefer to move on to another topic?
I think we should move to the next topic because the concept of recursion and Fibonacci is not much clearer to me. Maybe I will try it this next time.
That's completely fine. Let's move on to the next question. Can you explain the concept of recursion in JavaScript?
I already explained the concept of recursion. We should move to the next topic.
Got it. Thank you for your responses. That concludes our technical questions.
This was mock.feedback AI, using which I conducted my short interview, and it asked about higher order functions, pure functions, impure functions, and the one thing that I got stuck with is calculating Fibonacci numbers and using recursion. So let's see what the feedback it has given. So question one was, what is higher order function? And the feedback is, you did a solid job defining higher order functions by highlighting that they either take a function as an argument or return function. Your examples of array methods like map, reduce, and filter were inappropriate and well chosen. However, your example of writing a higher order function wasn't fully clear. It would be beneficial to specify the input and output of the function you intended to present. Consider ensuring clarity in your examples and elaborating on how the function you write would operate. So I also need to work on this higher order functions by using examples. Okay. Then what are pure functions? Great effort in explaining pure functions. You successfully communicated that they consistently return same output for same input. Discussed the advantages such as testability and the lack of side effects. The example of an impure function involving API calls was relevant, illustrated your understanding well. Moving forward, it could improve your response to provide a more specific example of a pure function to further illustrate the concept. Okay, so the third question was, what is recursion in JavaScript? The feedback is, you initially explained recursion correctly as a function calling itself, which is a good start. However, the explanation of calculating Fibonacci numbers was incomplete. So as I didn't know Fibonacci numbers, I couldn't explain, and that's what is it saying, which is a great opportunity to learn about memorization techniques. Okay, practicing recursive problems to channel. Okay, the fourth question was, can you explain how you would optimize a recursive Fibonacci function? Your response to this question indicated uncertainty or lack of knowledge. This is completely understandable as recursion can be complex topics. Okay, so the same problem with recursion. What is recursion in Java? So see, it asked three questions on the same topic because I was not giving answer, but it should have moved to the new topics. Overall performance, you demonstrated a good foundational understanding in several areas, particularly with higher order and pure functions. Your willingness to identify areas for improvement is the first step in personal growth. I encourage you to uh, focus on practicing recursive problems and exploring optimization techniques. Your potential is evident, and with continued practice and study, you will certainly build a stronger grasp of these concepts. Stay curious and proactive in your learning. Okay. So this was an AI, not a human, conducting my interview, and it is pretty amazing. Like, there is no human to judge me. Like, I was not giving answers properly. Still, it worked. So, that is all today I will be doing. In the next video, I will be. I'm not sure I should use this, but let's see what happens. So that's all for this video. Thanks all.